Hey guys, I'm here with Diane Gibbs. She has a podcast called Design Recharge, and I met her at the AIGA conference that was here in Mobile. Yeah, I get so messed up with that acronym. It was, what month was it in? Was it in January?
It was February.
February? Okay.
February 23rd, I think.
Yeah, and we were at the University of Mobile. They invited me to come and review portfolios with them, and I mean, I got a lot out of it just because I met a bunch of people. I met you. I met a bunch of other people in the business that I otherwise would not have known. So it was a little selfish on my part. I didn't know that I was going to, meet people, but it was amazing. The talent was really good there. It was a lot of college kids, and they were, I guess, getting feedback on their portfolios so that they could move forward and improve so they can get jobs.
That's right.
And, be better, because that's what all those conferences are about. But anyway, it was really nice, and I got to meet Diane, and I was excited. She wanted to have lunch after we left. So I was like, yay, she wants to have lunch, let's have a talk. Because I thought that it would be interesting for you, my audience, to see other people in the design field and meet other people, and just for us to get together and you guys hear our conversation, because we've actually never sat down and talked before. And so I'm going to learn some stuff about you, and they're going to learn at the same time, because, why
and
not?
I'll probably flip the switch a little bit, so we'll learn a little bit about Catherine.
I did not. She came in and said, I want to interview you. And I was like, oh. And I did not know didn't expect that to go this way. But hey, I'm cool with it. We can learn about
can
each
I
other.
ask you a couple questions then
Sure.
to start?
Go ahead.
All right, so when you went to school, you got a degree in landscape architecture.
Mm-hmm.
And then when did you go out on your own? And did you always know you wanted to go out on your own?
I wanted to be a landscape architect since I was in 5th grade. Yeah. And
What were you doing in 5th grade?
Girl, I've been 80 since the day I was born. So basically, I've been an old soul. I learned a lot of things like gardening and things like that from my family, and I love to do that stuff. And I think people just kept saying, you want to be a landscape architect. Someone put that in my brain at some point.
Mm-hmm.
In 5th grade, I didn't really know what that meant, but they put that in my brain. And so I always just said I was going to be that. Clearly, I didn't have a freedom of thinking anything different in my brain. I don't know. Anyway, went to high school, so I was going to be a landscape architect. I guess nothing else really appealed to me ever along the way. And so I chose colleges. Went to LSU because they have a #1 design program, and graduated from there. Worked for a guy for 2 years in Mobile, and then started my own business when I started having babies, because I figured I could design on my kitchen table and meet clients on the job sites, and kind of do it from the house when I had a baby, and it worked out.
Because you have family support here?
Yeah, both sides of the family are here in town, which is huge. But I really always, as much help as we did have, I always tell people that I built the business during nap time. So anytime the baby was sleeping, I was working. So
you didn't leave them though, right?
No.
Client meetings.
No. Or I would have client meetings when my husband would be home, and so it was just like a lot of give and take on scheduling in the beginning.
That takes a lot of drive. So
Does
have
it?
you? Oh yes, to be able to do that,
I think when you're stuck at home, you probably just want to get out and go see some clients.
Could be. You wanted some adult conversation,
Yeah.
or you wanted to challenge yourself.
Yeah, I tried a lot of different things. I did landscape, and I'd get little clients, or really I started doing AutoCAD work for my previous employer to start with, and that's because the economy was still good or okay then, and then it kind of crashed. And so then I started getting little jobs on my own, but I thought, I really don't want to do this. And so I was in baby mode, and I was like, I'll make baby clothes. And so I did that for a while, like application. I just did like kind of all kinds of things. And then I thought, I can make a lot more money doing plans than I can. Do you know how much time it takes to make one application or whatever?
Yeah.
And then you try to go sell it for $18, and you think, how much did I make on this? Like $3. What?
30 cents an hour?
Yeah. So wait, no, let's figure out a way to make this landscape thing work. And so that's where the wheels of ingenuity, as far as I started doing package pricing for all of my jobs, because I was losing money going out to a job site, looking, giving ideas for free, and then not getting the job. And so probably my first bit of really business, entrepreneurial, let's fix this and make it work for me, because I'm good at it, but it just was, I didn't like the way that it was working out. And so I did the package pricing. So it's like, you can go on my website, and there's a list of all the things that I offer, what the prices are, take it or leave it. If you want to call me, and I'll direct you to that site so that you can see what the prices are. So that was probably the first bit. And then the second bit was the content production that we're doing now, and that's evolved in a huge way. But where the content production started was with a client, and then it evolved into, of course, what it is today, which is like multiple daily content for people just to stay on the front of everybody's brain, so that when they think landscape design, they think Catherine Aaronsburg. So.
All right, so tell me
Sorry,
about.
that was a really long answer.
That was a great question, a great answer.
Great question. Good job.
I didn't mean to say that. So tell me about when you decided. So running your own business is one thing.
Yeah.
Doing the content creation is a whole nother game. How's the business? Is it 50%, or is it 75? What do you know what it is?
What do you mean as far as how much time?
How much time?
Well, I mean, I've hired a full-time person now, so I mean that's split off from me where unless I'm on camera, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure what the percentage is.
Do you have like Mondays or content days?
No. Basically, I know.
Before
like,
the kids come home?
Yeah, I mean, the kids are gone all day, and so...
Till when?
It's actually they're gone from 6:30 in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
They come home with their briefcases?
Yeah, they're little entrepreneurs. No, but since Nate's been here, I've really had to get my act together, because before it was so easy for me to just like walk around in my PJs and just like do things, and then clean the house, like go clean the kitchen, and then I'd come back and do some work.
So
whatever.
It's focused.
Yeah. So now that he's here, it's like I'm answering emails, and then I'm taking. It's so hard when you're meeting a lot of clients all the time, and you're not in just an office job where you're producing something all the time. Where if I've got to go to a meeting, I schedule the meeting in, and then everything else just like falls in around it. You have to schedule everything around it. I try to time block things out, but it's tough. It's really tough.
Do you end up working at night?
Not a lot anymore. Now that I'm sitting here for 8 hours a day or meeting, I usually don't work.
Close it up at night?
I don't close it up, especially not my social media type stuff, because if people come home at night and they start commenting on stuff, and so I'm always responding. I think it's so important for me to respond to the audience, and so. So
why? I agree, completely agree. Why is it important to respond?
Because you guys are everything. Like they are everything. The audience is everything. And I think it's so ridiculous. I mean, this is a big Gary Vee point, as you know, but for someone to come home go comment, take the time to comment on your video.
Take the time to follow you. Take the time to like something.
It takes time. Yeah. I'm so appreciative to anybody who takes the time to follow or to comment. I mean, to like any of that stuff. Commentary is like the least percentage of anything you'll get. You'll get follows, you'll get lots of likes, but the comments are what take so much time out of somebody's day to say something. And so if I don't respond back, I mean, come on, I don't have that many followers. If I've got 1 million followers, maybe like you comment for the first hour or something, but it's just too important for your audience to hear your voice. And just in that same way, I also don't have a social media manager, someone who does it for me, or like a marketing company that does it for me, because I think it has to be my voice. There's nobody that sounds like this, to be real honest. I mean, people would know it wasn't me if I were to respond in any other way but my stupid, dry, sarcastic way. So.
But so Gary Vee's like that too. A lot of people that both of us follow are very much into you have to take that role and be. So I think it's the difference between a leader and wanting to be served or be a servant leader, right?
Yes.
So it very much sounds like you're the servant leader.
Yeah, I want really the reason I started the web series, there was a whole host of reasons why I started the web series, but one of them was I'm the type of person that is a DIYer because I couldn't afford to hire a professional.
I'm right there with you.
And so I know that I'm not going to get the jobs from those people anyway. They're not going to pay me. So why not give them free content and show them how to do something and teach them so that they can feel happy about where they're living. I think that people deserve to feel comfortable in their homes, and I think that they deserve to want to go home. Like, the thought of people who go to their homes and then just want to like turn around and go out somewhere like makes me sad because I'm such a homebody. And so the people who can afford to hire me to make their homes beautiful will hire me, and the ones who can't are watching them on YouTube. So if I'm not providing them that information, somebody else is going to. And so a large part of the reason why I started the web series was to provide people information that they would need in order to make their homes beautiful so that they could live there and love there, love where they live. So, I mean, in turn, I mean, that stuff ends up working for you, and that they have a friend who can afford to hire me, And so
but you're seen as the expert, and that's the thing that is
right.
Because you're showing. It's just that you were out there. So, go ahead. I interrupted. I'm sorry.
I don't even know what I was going to say.
They're going to hire you. Their friend's going to hire you.
Yeah, so they'll share my videos, or they'll share my stuff with a friend, and that can afford to hire me, and so I work for them instead. And then you have 2 fans, and then that person multiplies to somebody else, and so you just can't look at the bottom line of how this thing that I'm putting out there and spending a lot of time and possibly money on is going to turn around and make me money. Like, it'll happen, it'll work itself out, but I think if you can just put it out there for free, then it'll come back to you.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. It totally does. It's a different mentality, and I think some people get caught up in that. I've got to make money at this. Can I monetize this? And so it can be chasing a different dragon. And so I think you on the education point is really a smart way to be, and if anybody else is trying to do that. So if somebody else wanted to start a YouTube channel, making applique dresses or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
because let me tell you, that's what happens. People show you how to do something, and then they go home and they try to gather all the materials to do it, and they're like, to hell with it, I'll just hire her to do it.
Yeah, because it's so harder.
It's harder than it seems. It's harder than it looks. And so if somebody were going to try to, or wanted to start a YouTube channel or something, you just have to start it. I mean, that's the only thing I can say. I don't know how many of you guys have gone back and looked. Some of you have been with me from the beginning, which I appreciate. But the ones of you who haven't, I don't normally tell people to go back and look at season 1 because it was real bad. But I mean, but that's where you have to start. Like, you just have to. But YouTube may not be for everybody. Some people, I don't mind being on. It took me a while to get used to it, but it doesn't come naturally. But some people like to be on camera. I would rather be on camera than to type a blog post. Like, I don't sit and read long blog posts, so I don't want to write them. I just feel like video is my medium. Just, so if you're trying to start something, you just have to start it. It doesn't matter how small your audience is. It doesn't matter who you think might be watching or listening, or if you want to start a podcast or whatever. Because I can tell you, those blogs that started in 2003, ain't nobody reading those. But now they're the biggest blogs. Well, blogs are starting to die a little bit, but for a while they were the biggest
content.
things.
It's and you have to just try. And so one of the things you said earlier, you said you just publish. You were publishing when you were practicing.
Yes.
You weren't just practicing and not publishing.
Oh yeah.
You were putting it out there. So what do you think about you? Was that the kind of kid you were? I know you were an athlete, so you failed a lot as an athlete. I mean, not just you. I mean, everybody as an athlete fails a lot.
Yeah.
Like, you're not always the winner. So, right? I don't think.
No, I'm never the winner. No, I'm never the winner. I'm always like, in fact, I was just telling Nathaniel earlier, I'm a total choker. In general, like I will be the person that will practice day and night, and then when the event comes, I will choke every time.
But so that's what this kind of is too. So you were you were okay with failure. You were okay just getting out there because you saw content, that the education was more important than you looking amazing.
Yes, because I think that I have built a very thick skin, but part of that was my upbringing, and part of it was my college experience in a world where you were being critiqued every single week on your project that you were doing. And I was able to handle that because of my upbringing. I was, never told, it was never just like padded that you were just like good enough, whatever. You always the truth was always spoken. And so college was the same way. So I think ultimately you have to just have a thick skin. But I put the video out there and then I didn't watch it again. Like, it was painful.
But
I didn't watch it again.
You commented if somebody commented?
100%. Nobody commented for a long time. No one cared for a long time. And even now, like, the 2,000 people I have on Instagram, like, it's not a big number as far as like the world of Instagram followers, but they are the most engaged audience. And if you get 50 comments on something, that's a big deal. So, you just have to, as they come, one day you get 50 comments and one day you get 2 comments.
Right. Well,
is what it is.
To be honest, it's the same. I think small audiences. Seth Godin talks about only having 1,000 true fans.
Yes.
And that's all you really need.
Yep.
And so everything else beyond that is just
Gravy.
yeah.
Yep.
I was gonna say icing or
Icing.
jelly, but your
We're in
gravy
the South,
is
it's gravy,
correct.
girl.
I know. I don't know what I'm thinking.
What up? Take 4.
Take 4.
Give me a clap. Okay.
I forgot what I was gonna say now. I'm losing my mind. But yeah,
So it's marketing.
yeah,
Marketing. It's
the
a
show
marketing
is
tool.
marketing. Yeah, it's definitely a marketing tool for sure. I mean, it's people get to see the abilities that I have, because I think that so often people think when they hear landscape designer, they think I design with plants. That's it. So they'll call me in after the pool's been placed, after the patio's been poured, and I'm like, if you had called me before. So basically with the web series, I'm able to show people that we walk into a blank space and I got to design where the patio goes and where the pool goes.
Yeah.
And the pool guy didn't get to decide it because he's not a designer, but people think like he's the pool guy, he must know where it goes. And then they'd call me in to place the plants around the pool. So I'm getting to expand the audience's idea of what it is that to be a landscape designer, you know? So, I mean,
Which is huge.
Yeah.
Which is great for landscape designers that are trying to
Right.
be or want to be.
Yeah.
Now they're like, oh, it's not like from 5th grade. You're like, I don't know. People told me this is what I should
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Now it's a little bit clearer. Hey,
telling
it's
him,
not
yeah.
just the. So one thing, going back, you were talking about you see a hole in the industry.
Yeah.
And you see a hole where now you can now collaborate with other people who are doing furniture or spaces like that. Is that something that's really fun? Have you found like carpenters or welders or?
I have not collaborated with anybody at this point on any kind of furniture design. I felt like I had to make a name for myself so that people would want to buy a piece of furniture that I designed. You know what I mean? So a lot of this, I mean, all of this stuff is so multifaceted and it's rolling toward kind of several different goals, but part of making a personal brand for me was getting to the point where my name meant something to somebody, and so that a group of people would want to buy if I put a piece of furniture out or a rug out. Otherwise, it's just another rug,
right?
In the rack. So, yeah, at this point, I haven't collaborated, but I'm open. Call me. I mean, anything. Furniture, it needs to be affordable. There's beautiful, expensive furniture options out there for exteriors, but there's no really they're not known. I mean, Target has some great options. World Market has some great options, but I still feel like there's a huge gaping hole there for some exterior furniture and accessories and things that we could fill. So tell me about what you. So I know you from AIGA, and you. I remember the acronym this time. And then you also are a professor at South. Are you adjunct or are you full time?
Full time.
So that's your
full
full-time
professor.
job. Okay.
Yeah, that's the full time job
For graphic design. Okay. And then you do. You have a business.
I do a design business called Little Word Communications.
Okay. So you design
Websites. I design. Really, I do social media for people. I do. I have a bunch of clients still in Colorado. I lived in Colorado, and so I have clients there. I have clients in North Carolina, Florida, everywhere.
Is the kind of job where you feel like you can do anywhere, right? Like you can do it. That's the downfall of my business. Is all the plants. Like you can't really specify plants from California, in the Northeast and everything, because they're all so different all over the country. So I'm a little jealous that you can just
It is really cool.
It makes it easier to expand and kind of. You don't have to have any local clients. They could all be somewhere else, and you can still be making money. But
I think it's really important to have the face-to-face with clients
you're right.
too.
Yeah.
Like I think that there's something really beautiful about starting relationships, and then they feel like I'm on their team. That's one of the things I want, no matter where they are. But there are clients that I've had for 15 years, and I met them for the first time this past January when I went back to Colorado.
Wow.
It's
so
kind
are
of
you
like
meeting them on video chat and stuff?
From the side only.
From the side only, just profile views?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So are those people who own businesses and they're kind of have evolved and just come back to you for new things?
Yeah, so we do different things. I do a monthly updates for websites, or I do content, or I do
so it's not necessarily fresh design stuff, it's like continuing what they've
but
already...
I have designed one company's website 3 times. It's because you have to update. And so
it's not a one shot thing,
right? And so I do menus for Raccoon Creek and Denver, Colorado. And so I do their menu. And I've done other things for Raccoon Creek. I've done family holiday cards. I've done a whole bunch of little different things. And sometimes it's an entrepreneur and then they have a new business and a new business. Or sometimes it's like, okay, we're trying something new, or I'm the regular ad creator for them, whether it's digital ads or it's print ads.
So you get to give them input on what's the more current, or do they kind of throw at you what they...
I usually get to get content. I mean, conceptualize with them, and then I present some ideas and say, hey, this is what I think. And I do try to really research what the company is doing. So we talk about a goal, and then we want to meet that goal. And I think that that's kind of the downfall for a lot of designers. That it's just like, oh, well, do you like it? Like it is not. That's not the goal. The goal is to sell the tickets. The goal is to, and did you sell the tickets? Well, I'm going to research who to sell to, what, how I should make it look so it sells.
I think that's such a misconception with design that I just ran into recently is a job I was on that will remain nameless, but...
Mark Bryant?
No, it was Mark Bryant. Yeah, me and him got together. But I was designing this thing, and I kept saying, basically, is my scope to get butts in the door? And it was like, no, you're just designing. It's like, no, but I feel like my job is to bring more to this thing and bring people in. So I'm going to I'm going to do content on it. And I'm going to do all these different things. And so if you have to bring those ideas. People just think of designers as doing like this one. You're going to draw
You just
a logo.
make it pretty.
Yeah, you're going to draw a logo, or you're going to, put a plant in the spot that I can't think of a plant. The thing about my business though, that I always worry with like designer, interior, graphic, and many other designers is that people now have such ideas from Pinterest, and they get all these ideas in their head, and so they bring stuff.
But you have a typewriter, right?
Right.
How many books have you written?
Right. So
just because you have the tool doesn't mean that's what I get a lot.
And so on the flip side of things, I'm kind of lucky in that people are like, I don't know what plant to use. I don't know. Like they admit they don't know, and so it's so nice. But for you, like it's got to be a hurdle that.
But those aren't going to be my clients anyway.
True. Yeah.
So that's not.
That's a hard thing for business owners to recognize, I think. That not every client is your client. And that you're just not, you have to be able to measure, especially in the design field,
Well, you have to have and I think that's where we all start. We just want to do everything. We just want to get the money. We're desperate. We just need to make the rent. And we have to, you have to really have that conversation with your client about what the goal is of this, and it can't just be making it prettier, because granted that's just a side thing,
it's a function.
Yeah, I don't want leaves all in my pool, or I hate privet hedge.
Yeah.
Right? Do you hate privet hedge?
I don't have an opinion on one way or the other. I know lots of people who do. But anyway, go ahead.
Man, it grows like lightning out here. I mean, it's like, whoo. If you want some, I've got some for free.
What is the drive behind your podcast?
So the drive, I started in 2012. It was a web show, so it was live, and people could come live. I really like that part of it. And it's still live. You can still come live Wednesday, 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific.
Plug that show, girl.
But so it's on YouTube. I do it through Zoom. And you come in and you can ask questions while I'm talking to whoever.
So anybody. So you have a guest on.
I have a guest on.
Anybody can come in.
And it's about hope, very similar to yours, I feel like. Hey, if they did it, we can do it.
Yeah.
And I just think, hey, if I could just ask a couple questions, and if you come live, you can ask some questions.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not coming on their face, but I can read their questions, or they can send me their questions prior in an email. So I have an email list that I've developed, and then they get the link and they can come live. That's all it is. To get the live link, you just have to be on my email list. So it's not about
graphic design.
It is. It's about graphic design
I've watched
and business.
I thought
freelance.
It was a business. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
I didn't know if I only watched one episode, and I thought maybe that was an anomaly, or that it was not what it was always consistently about.
What I usually think it's about people who are working full-time jobs and they have this big side hustle. Kind of like your full-time job, and this is your side hustle, sort of.
becoming a full-time thing though, isn't it?
Right. And then, or people who have just gone out freelancing. And I think there's so many things that you probably didn't know as a freelancer when you were going out. You were like, so much stuff about business, so much stuff about pricing or marketing or just, timely.
How about
the app,
you become, right. I mean, you brought that to me today for sure. But the idea of that you're the professional, and that, I mean, I can't tell you how long I let the client decide.
Oh, you're giving them the power.
Yeah, they would tell me what they wanted, and I would never say that's a bad idea or whatever. Like, at some point, I got the voice. As straightforward as I am, it took me a while to get the voice to be like, that's not going to work. Like, that plant's not going to work. That shape doesn't work. That, like, if you put the pool there, you're going to regret it. People, they're still
people, and when I still get in situations like that. I was in a situation like that like a month ago.
Really?
And I was like, the client was just like, no, I want the logo here, and then I want something straight underneath it. I'm like, okay, that's like a mugshot. There's nothing exciting about a mugshot. You got to put something, you got to lead the eye,
right.
There's directional things.
Thank you for being.
Yeah,
thank you for coming to interview me in my own office. I appreciate it. I don't know how.
Well,
many
sometime
questions.
we'll have to do it.
I'll come and interview you at your place.
No, no, you'll have to be on my show.
Interview?
No, I think that would be cool.
Originally, audience, this was supposed to be Diane and I eating lunch together, just like saying hey, and then it turned into her coming here because I roped her in because everything has to be documented. That's how this happened. I was like, we need to be documenting this conversation, and then it turned into an interview with me. Things evolve. How could you write a business
And I just didn't want to eat on the camera,
yeah,
so I was like, please, can we eat first?
Yeah, we ate first. So, all right, guys, thanks for sticking with us. That was a long interview, and now you got to go do some taxes. See, these are the real business things.
Yeah, I stayed up till 2.
Yeah.
And I got to make a website later.
Bye.